As always on a Friday morning, we've got Willie Jackson from Labor and Erica Stanford from National at the desk. Good morning.
Morena.
Morena, good to see you guys. So would you rip it up and start again?
Look, as I said, and I've said to multiple media outlets, doing nothing is not an option. The change process was already underway from the previous government. It is not consistent, and I'm ambitious for the kids of New Zealand. I want them to get the very best, not only in the curriculum, but in the way that we assess it as well. And so we'll be making some announcements very soon.
Can we salvage parts of NCEA, or do we actually need to just do away with that and start again, as Patrick has just said?
There are some parts of NCEA that are really good that you would want to retain, so some of the flexibility. But as you've heard from Patrick and also principals around New Zealand, the flexibility has gone way too far, and it has really masked the fact that we've had declining standards. So NCEA, we've had more and more kids doing NCEA. Meanwhile, if you look at all of our international things like PISA, which measure reading, writing, maths and science, they've all gone down.
Yeah.
Those two things can't both be true.
Okay, so will in future, will kids get NCEA qualifications?
Look, you're going to have to wait and see.
Okay.
I'm going to make an announcement very soon, but clearly doing nothing is not an option.
All right, Willie, where are you guys at on that? Has it been a failed system?
Well, it's funny. I was listening to Erica. I had my kids in the mainstream, and they were doing NCEA. Then I sent them to King's College, So and so you got
because it was crap.
No, I wouldn't say that at all. But I a lot of our kids have been failing in the education system, and so for me, I try to get my kids the best of everything.
Yeah.
So as I said, I've been through both systems, and I came from a system where we were school CUE, and you either were a failure or a success. In my case, I was a failure, and there was a lot of kids like myself, you see, so you had to reshape the education system, I think, to make it palatable for everyone, and I think that was the attempt there, and I think both parties have gone down this track, and I respect what Erica's saying. She's obviously an expert in this area, but I think there's parts of the system, a lot of parts of the system, where kids were feeling that like they were successful, and they were absolute failures under the old system.
Yeah. What was the difference for your kids, do you think, going to King's?
Oh, well, it was hugely challenging. I brought my kids up in the language, you see.
Yeah.
So, they were, two of my kids, I didn't speak English till they were 11 or 12. And then when they went to King's, you can imagine that transition. It was huge.
But did they do better academically?
Yes, I'll give King's its credit, their credit. We had some great years there, but it was tough on my kids. Yeah. It was tough. It was such a huge cultural transition.
It shows the inequities.
Well, yes, that's
People
right.
sending their children to private schools to escape schools that and a system that they don't believe in. We have to change that. That's why we need a national qualification that we can all stand behind and be proud of.
I went to a public school, and I've never thought, not that I've got kids, but I've always thought if I had them, I'd like them to go to a public school. Until recently. Yeah. And I've got friends who are saying, oh no, we're saving like mad because we want to send them.
Yeah, but I think there's, Erica's put a bit of a spin on that. There was some great things that came out of the public schooling system. My kids went to, one of them went to Ngā Tapua. You'll know the success that's come out of that school. So there was a lot of stuff that came out of there. It was no big failure. It was just that I wanted the best of both worlds.
Yeah, okay. Can I just point out a hypocrisy
what's wrong with that?
Because recently the Labor Party have been saying that, if you're a politician, you shouldn't get private health insurance. But if you're a politician, you can send your kids to private school. Can I just point out that hypocrisy?
And can I be very clear? I don't have private health insurance.
Oh, but you send your kids to a
private school. What is that? Is that a? I paid for them to go to the school. There was no.
Do you support David Seymour's funding increase for them? That's the question.
No, that's very questionable. I won't support David Seymour over anything really at the moment.
Kash Patel, this is the FBI director in New Zealand, and the FBI is setting up a bit of a shop here, a shop front here. Our government's saying it's nothing to do with China. The Americans saying it's everything to do with China. But whatever the reason, do we think that it's a good thing? Is it a sign of closer relations, Willie?
The FBI being here?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I just was shaking my head, and you just wonder what's what's happening there. There's a lot of question marks at the moment. So
What question marks? What are you talking about?
well, in terms of the relationships that are happening with America at the moment, and
Are they not our friends?
well, yes, but we also, of course,
Because we're in Five Eyes,
yes,
right, with these guys?
Of course, they're our friends.
So what's the harm?
But no, well, we'd like to know about it rather than them just turning up.
Oh, I see.
Well, actually, hang on a minute. They've had an office here since 2017, right the way through your government, my friend.
Yeah, but they don't just turn up though.
But
they don't just turn up.
They didn't just turn
You
up.
know,
didn't-
They've had an
just
office here
because
for
your
6
mates just walk
Wasn't a
It
in.
was
problem for you
planned.
before.
It was planned, Willie.
Can we actually talk about a topic that we agreed on? I don't need these. I walk on with the education minister. She gets her topics. I never get mine. I didn't even
Well,
know.
what? Hang on, we're getting to voting.
Are we going to talk about anything?
You know, we're gonna-
I do.
He doesn't like being beaten up.
Willie,
I'm sorry,
Hey, look,
Willie.
If you actually
we always
did-
accommodate the education minister.
If you did anything of note or importance,
yes,
perhaps
can we
we would
talk about
talk
our
about it, Willie.
topics?
Oh,
Anyway,
gosh, that was a good burn.
we'll talk about voters in a
Oh,
second,
that'd be
because I
good.
know you're hot on voters,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I thought that's what we were talking
Just
about.
be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Another one for Erica?
Just-
Okay.
Yes, actually, as it happens. Cash Patel and this FBI business, there are people in the Greens who say we shouldn't even be a member of Five Eyes. Do you think that that's nuts, or do you think that that's
It is
reasonable?
absolutely nuts. Look, when you think about the world situation when we've got cybercrime and espionage and we've got child exploitation and people trafficking, why would you not want to be plugged in to one of the very best intelligence agencies in the world here in New Zealand to help us react very, very quickly to sort out some of these issues that we see.
All right, okay.
It's a great thing.
Voting. I am actually with you on this a little bit, Willie, because I think
Thank you very much.
if we're saving a week in counting the votes, but we're losing 100,000 people,
Yeah, sure.
or potentially 100,000 people from voting, just because they couldn't get their act together, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit stinky.
Yeah, no, it's not 100,000. It's about 450,000. All right, let's get the numbers right.
What?
400. Got to get the numbers right.
Who wouldn't vote?
450,000 over that special period voted. So that's what there was 100,000 on a day. We're talking 450,000 over the 12. That's an incredible amount of people, right? When you've got a government, and we had Goldie here last week, right? And did he admit to gerrymandering the law? Because that's what we're talking about. I mean, it's a shocking move from this government. Judith Collins, the only minister with any principles at the moment, nothing against you, Erica, of course, but the only minister who has come out and actually said this is actually a breach of human rights.
Yeah, only because she has to.
This
She's
is-
Attorney General.
This is a breach of, well, she's Attorney General
exactly what she
doing
is.
her job, and you've got a gutless Prime Minister who's saying, no, never mind about the Maoris, never mind about Pacifica, never mind about Asians, never mind about young people, thousands of people.
So basically, never mind about everybody.
Never mind about everybody. They don't get to vote, but hey, it doesn't matter because
Well,
now you'll get the results.
All right.
It's a
Well, we should be
shocking,
clear.
shocking
We should be
move.
clear. Everybody does get to vote, so everybody who wants to vote can vote.
As long as they
But
register.
It's about when you register to vote.
as long as they register.
Is it worth all of this? Because the thing is, to me,
It's a-
democracy is quite sacrosanct,
right.
obviously, and you don't mess with it. And if you have people like Willie running around saying your right to vote is being compromised by this government, then you sort of undermine the whole system. Is it worth saving a week on counting?
Well, it potentially is more than a week. I mean, it took us 3 weeks to count the vote last time, and everybody was sitting there on tenterhooks waiting. It's about having a reliable democratic system. But the thing is, you have 3 years to get enrolled, right? And you've got an electoral commission who are already out and who will continue to be out encouraging people to vote. I mean, you don't turn up to the airport without your boarding pass, right? There is a long period of time to get your act together. And if you look at the last election, there was a huge number of people who had not bothered to get enrolled, and it's increasing every year. So we are encouraging a pattern of complacency. But if we say, and we're very clear, here is the date, like in other countries, to get your act together, to get enrolled, and we are going to help you every step of the way. It takes 5 minutes. People spend longer booking their travel than they do. It does takes to get enrolled.
What
5
happened?
minutes.
What happened to you,
You don't
Erica?
turn up to the
What
airport
ha-
without
what
your boarding
happened to
pass,
you?
do you, Willie, and expect to get on the plane?
You were young once. You've forgotten all your mates. A lot of
Yeah.
Always enrolled to
And you
vote.
just-
not
people
every,
are busy.
always been enrolled to
not
vote. Thank you
everybody's
very
like
much, Willie.
Erica and David Seymour. They'll get up there, but you and your mates.
Yeah,
we
people
better
get
vote.
lazy
They
these days.
have other things in their lives. Erica, just
For
put
1,000
some
days.
money in the system instead of trying to get rid of voters who are not going to vote for you.
You'll bring the prisoners back because they vote for you.
Oh well, we don't have to get rid of we don't have to get rid of all the prisoners. There was a time where you had sympathy and they had some support. We're not talking about murderers and rapists having all these rights.
Yeah.
We're talking about some of your mates, Ryan, from out west there who got done for shoplifting or whatever.
Not my mates.
Anyway, what else are we doing? Are we talking about that Shane Jones, or is it all over?
No, what about Shane? The oil and gas ban. Here's the only question we need to ask is you, Willie.
Yes.
Will you guys bring the ban back in if you get back into government?
Oh, look, I mean, that was our nuclear moment. I was very proud.
Nuclear-free moment.
Well, that's right, nuclear-free moment, absolutely. Oh, thanks for that. But, we had Shane Jones standing by Jacinda saying, this is important.
Yes, but are you going to bring it?
He had his head in his hands, if I remember correctly.
He might have had his head in his hands, and then, now what's he doing? He's gerrymandering the law, isn't he?
Yeah, but my question, just answer the question. Are you going to bring the ban back or
look,
not?
we've got to look at all policy,
They don't have any policy.
We've got to look. We are not,
but there is nothing.
We are not the government. I'm not going to give you policy here
I know,
now.
but it's important because the private investors in the oil and gas industry want certainty.
These are your friends who we changed the law for. You and Shane Jones.
Actually, New Zealanders need certainty
on electricity
supply.
I can't remember the last time I had lunch with Big Oil.
Shane and Erica's mates do. They find loopholes in terms of the law.
Okay.
So they're Big Oil.
You're just talking.
You know what I'm talking about. Come into the house sometimes instead of wandering around.
You're
with your
talking
rich
about
mates.
nothing because you don't have any policies.
No. Where did you get that from?
Well, so will you reverse the ban?
Have you heard Chippy on the show? We are not the government. We will be looking at all policies.
All right.
But if I had it my way, I'd be reversing it, all right? But there you go. That's as far as I can go.
Very good.
Get back with the people.
We got you somewhere. Willie Jackson from Labor, Erica Stanford from National. Good to see you guys.
Kia ora.
20 after 7.